You gave me a bunch of stuff. All right, Baltimore City Council Ways and Means Committee. We are in session for Council Bill 21-0159, Procurement Zero Emission Vehicles. We are reconvening the hearing. Eric Costello, Councilman from the 11th District, Chair of the committee, joined to my left by the bill sponsor, not a member of the committee, Councilman Mark Conway, 4th District. To his left, Vice Chair of the committee, Councilman Robert Stokes, 12th District. To his left, Councilman Chris Burnett, 8th District, member of the committee. To my immediate rights, Marguerite Curran, staff to the committee. We're joined by representatives from Council President Nick Mosby and Mayor Brandon Scott's offices, respectively. We're going to quickly run through agency reports. We'll start with the agencies that are currently present. Department of Law, approved for form and legal sufficiency.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Hillary Ruley for the Department of Law. We approve the bill for form and legal sufficiency as well as all the amendments that I've seen so far.
Great. And that's the package that Councilman Conway had drafted up, 6 amendments, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Department of Finance.
Laura Larson, Budget Director for the city. The Department of Finance has submitted a response to the bill and reviewed the amendments, and we do not oppose the bill.
So your position has changed from opposed to does not oppose if the amendments are adopted?
That's correct.
Got it. Thank you very much. Department of General Services, favorable amendments. DGS, favorable, I'm assuming with amendments referring to,
Yes.
to Councilman
Yes, Mr.
Conway's
Chair.
6 amendments. Thank you. Department of Public Works defers to DGS, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. And Baltimore Police Department, concerns, comments, but no objection? That's a first.
That is correct. There was an initial concern with EV and the rate at which they have to run vehicles on a daily basis, but that issue has been resolved with the amendments.
And Councilman Conway, that's BPD fleet, I'm assuming, has been taken out?
No BPD, everyone is still included as long as it is part of the administrative fleet. Technically, many of their vehicles are part of the administrative fleet. The major consideration here is that vehicle charging infrastructure we're going to be considering. We're also going to be doing a study to think about how the transition will happen. And in looking at...
Let me pause you. I'm sorry I asked the question the wrong way. We've been joined by Council Vice President Sharon Green Middleton, 6th District, member of the committee. The BPD patrol cars have been removed from the scope.
They are still part of this code.
BPD patrol cars.
Yes.
Okay. Have we, Nina, have we resolved that with BPD?
I believe so, but my understanding was that the patrol cars were not technically a part of the administrative fleet.
So one of the things that we did here is we added a consideration for DGS to pull out vehicles if they felt that, given the use, that it would be problematic for operational needs. So if BPD makes the case that their vehicles have a special need that requires a gasoline vehicle as opposed to an EV vehicle, they can make an appeal to the DGS director, and then the DGS director can write an explanation pulling them out of it.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. With that consideration, I believe that we would be, BPD would be fine with the bill with the amendments as proposed.
Yep.
All right, we're good?
We're good.
Nina, we're good? All right. Department of Transportation, concerns, comments, Mr. Turner?
James Turner, representing the Department of Transportation. Stand by our original bill report and no objection.
Okay, so there are not concerns, no objection?
No concerns.
Thank you, excellent. Parking Authority of Baltimore City does not oppose. They stand by their report.
That is correct.
Thank you. Office of Sustainability, favorable?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Office of Comptroller, favorable? I know you don't speak for the Office of Comptroller. You have not heard, oh.
Christine Griffin on behalf of the Office of the Comptroller, and we stand in support of the bill.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. All right, last one, Office of City Administrator, none to date.
So as the bill stands now with the amendments as proposed, the Office of the City Administrator supports the legislation.
Okay. Has a bill report been submitted yet?
We have not submitted an updated bill report. I think we had drafted one previously, but I can make sure that one is submitted for the record before second reader.
Perfect, thank you. If we could get that by this Friday, just saying that City Administrator is good with these 6 amendments?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Great, okay. So we did all the agency reports. Councilman Conway, why don't you please walk us through these 6 amendments? Please be as brief as possible.
I'd be happy to. All right, so one of them, we'll walk amendment through amendment. The first one defines the administrative fleet. When we originally drafted this bill, we had it apply to all vehicles. We separated out the administrative fleet, amendment number 1, and the vocational fleet, amendment number 2, so that we could differentiate between our heavier duty trucks and things that where the technology is not quite there. Amendment number 3 is allowing for zero emission vehicle equivalents and providing a definition for that. Also adding a definition for zero emission vehicle infrastructure, which largely is going to be charging infrastructure, at least initially. Amendment number 4 helps the bill to capture purchased, leased, rented vehicles that were not initially drafted in the bill. Amendment number 5 provides some more definitions for equivalencies for zero emission vehicles. It talks about the costs and market availability. One of the key things here, and I alluded to earlier, Mr. Chair, was there will be exceptions if the DGS director determines that the need for the agency is not met currently by the market availability for AV vehicles. So for instance, for BPD patrol, if BPD and the commissioner believe that the EV vehicles on the market are not sufficient to meet the needs for operations in the department, they can make an appeal to the director of DGS. The DGS director can notify purchasing, and then he will be excused for those requirements. And amendment number 6 goes through a yearly report that would have to be reported out on EV vehicles, the life cycle, the number of vehicles, just making sure that we're meeting the confines of the bill, and also begins to review some of the vocational vehicles to understand if there is a market availability for those vehicles to transition toward EV as well. And then finally, amendment number 7 just cleans up some of the language and directs it toward the the Department of General Services. So,
Thank you. We'll start down at the left. Councilman Burnett, any questions? Councilman Stokes? On the bill or amendment, the bill as amended. Yeah. Floor is yours.
This question, thank you, Mr. Chair. This question for finance. I know in the report you had said you opposed it. Could you explain why you opposed it and now you're not opposing it?
So in the amendments that Councilman Conway described, as he mentioned, there were adjustments made to focus in just on the administrative fleet. And while we know that the cost of an electric vehicle, even in the administrative fleet, is more than what we're currently replacing those assets with, we do believe that between now and the 2030 deadline, we can look to accommodate purchasing the electric vehicles within the master lease funding and come up with a strategy in order to be able to sustain that. So, we believe that with these amendments, we're able to be a little bit more targeted in terms of where we want to be impactful. And it's in a way that we believe that we can afford it within the master lease funding.
Thank you. My second question is, what is the cost savings for 5 or 10 years? Or will you have a report on what the cost savings switching from gasoline to EV vehicles?
So I do not have that number in front of me. Based off of 2024 numbers, the conventional vehicle that would fall into the administrative fleet, the average replacement cost is about $41,000, and the average electric vehicle comparable asset is about $50,000. So, it's about a $9,000 difference just in terms of the cost of the asset. In terms of the maintenance costs, I do believe that there will be, especially in this period between now and 2030, we would likely not see any significant cost savings from the maintenance costs because we will have to make investments at DGS on the fleet team in terms of their mechanics and their staff's ability to work with some of these electric vehicles. And I do think that some of that upfront training and staff investment in our staff, I think that will that may offset some of the ongoing maintenance costs that we would hope to see once we get the program up and running at a higher point.
So, Mr. Chair, can we get a request for the part of the report for cost savings, see what that look like over 5 years, I guess, or just report back, I guess, to the committee about what the cost savings look like? I don't.
Laura, repeat that back to me as you understand it.
So I'm understanding that you would like us to work with DGS to come back with an analysis of where we think there could be potential savings associated with the policy in the next 5 years.
Yes.
Okay, we can definitely do
Thank
that.
you.
Please and thank you. Councilman Stokes, any other questions? Council Vice President Middleton, any questions?
No questions, but just a quick comment that I just like to thank the sponsor of the bill, Councilman Conway, for really taking the lead on this as we see several cities that are really on the forefront, and a number of these cities are cities that really have less population than we are, and this will definitely get us as soon as possible, I think, where we need to be as a city when it comes to electric vehicles. So thank you so much for taking the lead on this, and you have my support.
Thank you. Colleagues, is there, do we have any public testimony? Going once, twice, 3 times. Okay. Colleagues, is there a motion to move the package of amendments?
Motion to move the package of amendments.
Is there a second? Second by Stokes. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Package of amendments passes with 4 votes and 3 absences. Is there a motion to move the bill favorably as amended?
Motion to move the bill favorable as amended.
Second by, motion by Middleton, second by Stokes. Costello, yes. Burnett? Middleton?
Yes.
Stokes? Yes. 3 absences. This bill passes with 4 votes and moves to second reader at the next meeting of the City Council. We're now in recess. Thank you.